Mr. Hampton, my chief of staff in Chicago's husband had a serious surgery over 10 years ago, and thank God he's recovered well. He's a great success story. He was given an open prescription for OxyContin for a year, meaning he could go and fill the prescription at will. I assume that was at the period of time when Purdue Pharma was peddling the story that it was non-addictive. There is some question as to whether they knew that to be true or false at the time. And I think that he escaped it by not filling the prescription is an indication of what happened to you in a much different circumstance, but a sad outcome for your own personal safety and life. And it also, I think your testimony, as much as any, brings to a real question, what is justice in America? When the Sackler family can make billions, that's with a B, billions of dollars, and somehow use our system of justice to escape all personal liability, which I believe is the case as of now. Even if the billions are divided by two, at the end of the day, it is an outrage that the hundreds of thousands of victims like yourself cannot but feel personally as you reflect on the situation. Thank you for your testimony. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say the number in terms of the Sackler family made over $10 billion from Purdue Pharma, hundreds of thousands of victims, as you mentioned, that have been impacted, many friends of mine who died at the hands of Purdue's products and OxyContin. I believe that there is more evidence in the public domain than we probably have ever had in terms of the liability, in any case that's in the public domain, in terms of the liability, criminal liability of the Sackler family. Real justice for folks who have been impacted, family members who have lost loved ones, is that the Sacklers will face their day in court, similar to everyday Americans who are justice involved every single day. I know plenty of people in my community, and there are millions around this country who face the justice system who are way less guilty of crimes than the Sacklers, who have committed crimes that pale in comparison, small drug possession charges, serving months, years in jail. And yet the Department of Justice has yet to indict or file a single charge against any member of the Sackler family. It is unconscionable. And the victim community, the advocacy community, people who have been directly involved in this case and who have been directly impacted by this cause are, simply put, disgusted.
I am too. Mr. Lelling, interesting phenomena when it came to the decision on filing a class action against Purdue Pharma for the action, for the results of their wrongdoing. And somehow or another, the Sacklers came along for the ride. And I wondered if you could kind of explain what's going on here. When we look at the Texas two-step, are you familiar with that?
I am not, Senator.
Well, it is an effort to use the bankruptcy court to end up with a subsidiary corporation assuming all liability, civil liability. Then it is underfunded, thrown into bankruptcy so that it can erase any outstanding plaintiff's claims against the corporation. When you hear that story and you read the Sackler story, there are some fundamentals on our system of justice which don't seem to work very well at all. And in some cases, when it involves civil litigation, I know your specialty is criminal litigation, there seems to be an incentive for some plaintiffs' lawyers and class action lawyers to rush to a settlement as opposed to demanding that certain things happen when it comes to personal liability of individuals. Do you have any observations on that?
I can't speak specifically to the Purdue Pharma case. I don't know the facts well enough, but I do agree with you that when it comes to vindicating the public's interest in seeing wrongdoing remedied, if there has been criminal wrongdoing, there should be criminal prosecution. We did this in Boston. We were the first to prosecute senior executives of a pharma company for their role in the opioid crisis. That was the Insys Incorporated case. Those executives went to jail. We felt good about that case. We thought it was an important statement to make. So when you have a situation where corporate executives at a pharma company have engaged in criminal wrongdoing, a civil resolution often will not seem satisfactory to the public, and it will not appear that justice has been served. And so we should avoid those kinds of scenarios.